Hello everyone, welcome back for some more Let's Read Higurashi. We're continuing through Meakashi, and well, we're in the past, and there's some interesting parallels going on with, Shion as the main character, but we're also starting to see a bit of Satoshi's world, so we'll see how she crosses over with Hinamizawa, because for the most part, we're like in Okonomiya, so it's a very quiet afternoon, as always. Since I can't go outside as myself, I have to match schedules with Mion when I go shopping. I've gotten used to it by now, so it's no longer a hassle. Because of this, I naturally have to buy things in bulk. It's a good thing that Costco is big in Japan. Yo, but do they have the Costco hot dogs there? I feel like if they did, it wouldn't be the same anyways. Whenever I go back to Canada, the first thing I do is get a Costco hot dog. God, I could gobble those glizzies forever. Today, I shuttle between shops and my home.
あれは買った、これも買った。ああ、そうだ。今日って100円セールの日じゃなかったっけ?
Wow. $1 off.
忘れてた。
Unless it means everything is $1, in which case, no, actually go for that. Being in a good mood, I spun around with my arms spread out. I feel like a little whirlwind. Okay, but actually $1 would... If it's off of everything, then that would actually build up over time. What the frick? My arm hit a motorcycle parked on the sidewalk. It obviously wasn't where it was supposed to be. Okay, no, that's a huge problem in China. People will park on the sidewalks. And I'm not just talking about motorcycles. They will happily do that with cars. And it's like, stop. Like, I get it. Parking is hell. But stop, I need to walk. But that's really funny. This is such a real moment. You just move your arms in a way you weren't expecting and you whack something. I hit a parked, like, moped recently that I was just swinging my arm and as I was walking... And the alarm went off. Well, it beeped. It didn't alarm, but it beeped, and I wanted to die. Are we gonna learn that she's a massive girl failure as we continue this? I gave it a kick with no hesitation. Why am I getting deja vu? There were 3 motors... Why am I getting deja vu? Didn't Keiichi do this exact thing? There were 3 motorcycles lined up in a row. Wait, isn't this where he kicks over the motorcycles and out come the guys? And they're like, "Hey, teme yaro. Kusona," and then they're out there doing that. And then Shion comes out with the, stop it. His pronouns are she, her. Isn't that what happens? I think so. So she did this whole thing herself? There were 3 motorcycles lined up there in a row. They all felt like dominoes. It was a beautiful sight. This is fun, I thought. Being in such a good mood made me leave my guard down. I didn't realize that the owner... Oh my god, this is literally just happening again. I didn't realize that the owners of the motorcycles were right nearby. They looked pretty scary. They grabbed me by my neck and dragged me into a dark alley. Then they called me all kinds of names, like Stinky. Everything was happening too quickly for me to grasp what was going on. Oh, yep. Yep. Like, I know it's meant to be that they're kind of, like, heavily accented goon voice, but I see Fukin, and it makes me think they have a bit of an accent. Wow, they can't really talk properly. I don't have a clue what they were saying. I had to translate their alien tongue into normal human words in order to understand. We are very upset because you knocked down our motorcycles. You should immediately pay for the repair and compensation. Yeah, that was probably it. Wait, oh my god, is Satoshi gonna appear? Oh my god, is it gonna be the reverse parallel? That's our offer. What do you say? We'd be happy to listen to your opinion or something like that. What? What in what? What in down? What in down? What in down? When I met you in the summer.
ごめんなさい。さすがにそろそろ翻訳不能かも。
だとぐら
I know what they're trying to say, but somebody has to warn them about the way they park their motorcycles. It wouldn't be fair to those who obey the rules if there were no punishment for those who disobey them. This is an accident, but it also must be God's will. I thought you said you weren't religious now. But God, you can use me to punish these guys, but how will you compensate me later? I heaved a huge sigh. Of course, I wasn't afraid in this situation at all, because it wasn't a dangerous one for me. These guys were yelling at the top of their lungs at a girl. They didn't look good doing it, and they had too many disadvantages. First, there were the differences in gender and in the number of people. Even if I did something wrong, as men shouting at a woman, it didn't make them look like they were in the right. Add to that, there were 3 of them. It already looked like it was going to get violent. Second, the location. Taking a girl into a dark, narrow alleyway is already a bad idea, and on top of that, they're asking for money, not just an apology. Thanks to these facts, the public will be on my side. So, this was a fight they couldn't possibly win. The only way for them to win would be to take my money before somebody finds out. Considering that, taking me to this narrow, secluded alleyway might have been a smart move since fewer people will find out about this situation. I knew how slim their chances of winning were. From the very beginning, they had picked the wrong girl. I'm Mion Sonozaki now. It'd be foolish to mug her in Okonomiya. Soon enough, the people of Hinamizawa would notice me and gather around. They don't spare mercy for their enemies, no matter what. The punks didn't know this area well. If they did, they'd have known how silly it was to rob Mion. Plus, the alleyway isn't always as empty as they assumed. This side street is a shortcut which local people frequently use on their way home. In the very late afternoon, many people will be passing through here. That time had almost arrived. If I held off a little longer, the street would soon be filled with people, and the punks would have to go away. I didn't have to do anything. I just had to wait in order to win. This was a simple fight like that. While they could hurl abusive language at me or lift me up by my collar, they weren't actually going to resort to violence. Cheers to the educational system for ingraining the ladies' first mindset. But as a wicked person, I wanted to toy with them for a bit, even though I could win this by waiting. I wanted to paint them as even more villainous and drive them into a corner that would be even harder to talk their way out of. That demonic desire was rearing its horns. To put it plainly, I'd need to act as the poor, helpless victim a little further, like the pathetic, pitiful, tragic heroine everyone wants to sympathize with. In a case like this, I shouldn't start crying immediately because they get nervous and draw back. If it were truly a threatening situation, that would work, but I needed something different here. I'd pretend to be strong at first. In fact, I thought, why don't I challenge them? And actually, I'd start trembling, my voice would fade, and I'd get tears in my eyes. I'd even be better if I played the role of a strong girl who's slowly giving in to fear. Mion and I are probably the only ones who are capable of pulling this kind of stuff off. Well, I'm probably better than her.
そんなにしつこく言わなくてもいいでしょ。悪かったって言ってるじゃないですか。
I talked back with a little hesitation. Am I getting tears yet? Yes. By the way, I've heard men can't shed tears on command. That is not true. I can very easily make myself cry. I just have to think of sad stuff. I feel sorry for them. The 3 punks faltered a bit due to my sudden change in attitude, but they soon started yelling at me again. I had to keep going. The way they'd blatantly look like they're picking on a helpless girl.
許してください。
なんだよこら。さっきまでの伊勢はどこ行ったんだよ、にゃろ。
そんなのだって
調子くれてんじゃねえんだよ、タクよ。
It sounded like he started that line at the other end of the room. It looked like they were laying off a bit. Did I overdo it a little? It'd be boring if they let me go now. At that moment... I knew it! Oh my god, you are blonde. Wow. Alright. That's you, huh? And it's the P button to switch? Nope. What's the button? M? No. What's the button? I always forget the button. Button to switch is... It is P. Okay, wait. Okay. So then let's go P. Okay. Buddy, you look like your arm's broken. Okay. Yeah. I think this is the best one for sure.
もう泣いているじゃないか。やめてやれ。
Also, did I call it or did I call it that we're doing this exact thing? A boy around my age appeared. He was skinny. All right, didn't they say that they were a thing? He looked weak. He looked younger than he probably was. Oh, yeah, that's probably the malnutrition. He also looked smart. He bravely glared at the punks.
なんだなこの野郎。足んねえことしてった邪魔するな。
The punks turned away from me to face the boy instead. Oh, it's a nice little song. Oh, God, yeah. You guys weren't joking about the music being upgraded, because there have been a lot of really good songs, and it's a lot less of playing the same songs over and over. The boy looked a bit agitated when the punks started yelling at him. Oh, right, it's the song. That's why. It is funny, someone commented, they're like, yeah, you just hummed the Higurashi song. It's like, well, I'm sorry, I didn't know this was the Higurashi song. I just knew this from when it was in the Nico Nico Doga medley. They sure were wordless. But the boy must have known that from the beginning. He must have known that he was going into a dangerous situation, yet he didn't hesitate.
黙ってたらわからんがな。返事せんか返事。
He must have wanted to shout back at them. But he'd probably never used that kind of language in his life. So he couldn't have expressed his feelings out loud. He might not even known what to say. He just kept on glaring at them, to let them know that he wasn't going anywhere. The three punks, though, might have thought he was just lost for words in his fear. But I knew different. The boy was overpowering them with nothing but his will. His conqueror's hockey, if you will. The punks were losing, so they resorted to violence. Oh! They grabbed him and knocked him down. They hit, kicked, and tossed him around. It looked painful, but I knew. It was his victory. In the end, local passersby stopped the punks. They made no further fuss and just went away. The boy stood up. He was covered in dust. He smiled when our eyes met, and asked me if I was all right. He didn't look particularly okay himself, though.
あんたもよくもまあ勝てない喧嘩を買う人ですね。次からは勝てる算段がついてから喧嘩を買うことを深くお勧めしますけどね。
You know, there is a sense of dread you feel knowing how things are going to go horribly wrong here, you know?
最初は迷ったよ。
He laughed, saying that he was watching from the beginning. That meant he had the option to walk away. But instead, he worked up the courage and stepped in.
そういうのは勇気って言わず、身の程知らずとも言うかな。ミオンは口が減らないね。
Oh.
助けてくれてありがとうくらい言ってくれよ。
Oh. Of course, because he would know Mion. He's from this village.
泣いてたじゃないか。別に泣いてなんかいません。あれはちょっとした演技で。
Oh God, then, God, they're really... Keiichi was an echo of the past then. God, in so many ways.
いいよ、演技でも。ちょっと、 信じてないでしょう。
Oh, I like how she's putting on the Mion voice.
私が本当に泣き出すと思いますか？
Wow, 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 wow. She's putting on the voice.
思わないよ。天下御免の園崎美音が不良にいじめられて泣き出したなんて誰も思わないよ。
何を笑ってるんですか？全然信じてないでしょう。私が半泣きなんてするわけない。
信じるから信じるから。
I realized one thing. He must be one of Sis's friends. He didn't seem to realize that I'm her twin. He thought I was Mion with a different hairstyle. Mion and I had to live separately since before we went to elementary school. Mion was in Hinamizawa, and I was in Okonomiya. I lived in a totally different environment from her, so it's not strange that people don't know me. Actually, only very few people know I exist. I almost told him that I'm not Mion, but I managed to stop myself. Shion shouldn't be here. He's from Hinamizawa. It wouldn't be good if he thought he saw a Mion lookalike in Okonomiya. So, I'd act like Mion. Dealing with him could be more difficult than handling those punks.
でもま、ミオンにも少しは女の子らしいところがあったんで安心したよ。
なんだか妙に引っかかる言い方ですけど、つまりはどういう意味です？
ミオンのことだから、なんだか珍妙な憲法でも使って瞬く間に撃退してしまうんじゃないかって期待してたね。
Did he specifically say Chinese martial arts there? Did I hear that right?
だから泣き出した時は正直驚いた。
I might have heard that wrong.
だから
ミオンのことだから、なんだか珍妙な憲法でも使って。
No, I don't think so.
あれは泣き真似だったって言ってるじゃないですか。さっきから人の話ちゃんと聞いて。
Oh. He gently put his hand on top of my head and stroked it as if stroking a kitten. I could remember somebody doing that to me when I was little, but it had been quite a while since somebody stroked my head. Yeah, probably not a lot of that at the Catholic girls' school. Actually, there might be, but not with you. But like, you know, some of the other girls. And listen, I've just heard stories, man. I didn't know what to do. Why did it make me so embarrassed? My face reddened all at once. I couldn't say anything.
ひょっとして。
I stuttered in embarrassment. Sorry, I thought the line would go on longer. He looked calm, as if he was used to doing this.
なんでもいいよ。よかったじゃないか。
よかったって何がです？
無事で。
He smiled while he kept stroking my head. His smile looked divine. He wasn't going to stay for long. He'd already saved me from those guys after all.
じゃあ、僕は行かなきゃならないから、そろそろ行くね。
うん。
I wanted to go through all the steps of meeting someone for the first time, but he didn't. As far as he was concerned, he just saved a friend from danger and wanted to leave quickly to avoid seeming pretentious. He and Mion must be friends who knew each other well, so I couldn't bring myself to ask, "What's your name?" Mion's friend smiled once again. His smile looked refreshing as a clear blue sky. Like, okay, it would be wild if we get through all this, and Satoshi is like the nicest, best guy ever, and Keiichi is the scummy replacement loser. You know, like that's gonna change how I feel about him. Maybe not, but a little bit. This time, he smiled a bit mischievously.
安心しなよ。ミオンが泣いてたなんて誰にも言わないから。もっとも言ったところで誰も信じないだろうけどね。天下無双の委員長が泣いてたなんて絶対誰も信じない。
He patted the dust off his butt once again. He walked back to the sunny main road away from the dark alley. Then he turned around.
じゃあまた明日学校でね。
うん。学校で。
He disappeared into the brightly lit street. I continued to sit in the gloomy alleyway. I could no longer see him. I was just staring absentmindedly at the bright light. And okay. So that idea, the bright light, she's not talking about the sun. Right? That was the first time I met Satoshi-kun. Wow. Wow, what a meeting, huh? I'm not even allowed to walk freely under the sun. I met a boy on a sunny day. How come a perverse girl like me fell in love with his innocence? Notebook page 5. He literally is
そ
the
りゃ
sun
サ
for
トシだ
you.
よ、サトシ。
Wow. Wow.
その特徴的な雰囲気と気安く頭を撫でる癖は間違いない
Okay,
ね。
so it's not a personal thing, because I was thinking he probably does that for Satoko.
サトシくんって言うんだ。
The boy from earlier is called Satoshi Hojo-kun. Mion said he's always daydreaming. So, she didn't believe that he saved me at
普
first.
段はしっかり者の妹にいろいろと尻を叩かれてるな。妹がいるんだ。妹はサトコって言ってね。なかなか面白いやつだよ。なかなか悪知恵が働くしね。そのくせ追い詰められると泣くし。見てて退屈しない子だね。まあ、最近はいろいろとあってね。
Boy, if that isn't the understatement of the
ちょっ
century.
と調子を落としてるけど。
His sister came up naturally in the conversation. I tried to soak up every scrap of information about Satoshi-kun. Why? Why am I trying to ask so much about him? As I asked myself that, the feeling I got when he stroked my head came back to me. I must have been blushing.
もしもし、シオン？ああ、ごめん。聞いてる聞いてる。そもそもね、サトコがおばと折り合いが悪いらしいんだよね。サトシは大人だから、その辺はうまく立ち回ってるんだけどさ、サトコは嫌なことがあると素直に表情に出しちゃうからね。
What do you mean by that? What Sis told me was very interesting. She told me that the parents of Satoshi-kun and his little sister are dead. Satoshi-kun and Satoko are now living with their uncle and aunt. They don't seem like very respectable people. They're always fighting, and the uncle is cheating on the aunt. He mostly lives with his mistress. Satoshi-kun and Satoko entered into that unwelcome environment. What surprises me most is the fact that Satoshi-kun's parents were the Hojo couple who were the leaders of the pro-dem activists. That fact must have added something to the situation. I don't know what kind of stance the uncle and aunt took during the dam conflict, but they must have taken some indirect blows. Satoshi-kun's parents died after bothering them so much, and even left their children. The uncle and aunt obviously can't love those kids. Things have gotten worse this past year, too. Women can be really nasty bullies. Sometimes it doesn't matter who they're bullying, even if it's a kid. On top of that, women tend to care less about propriety than men. As a result, Satoko seems exhausted with it all. I can imagine Satoshi-kun bravely protecting his little sister, just like when he saved me.
なら、サトシ君も普段は疲れてるってことになるのかな。え？サトコがおばにいじめられるたびに、きっとサトシ君は妹をかばってると思う。妹が疲れるのと同じくらい、サトシ君も疲れてると思うのは、私の考えすぎ？どうだろうね。
Had I said something wrong? Mion sounded a bit taken aback. So that meant Mion can't tell how he's feeling. Because he's always wearing that blank look. So she never considered it. How can she be that insensitive even though she's around him all the time? I was amazed to realize that.
まあそんな話はいいや。で、彼は普段はどんなことをしてるの？文系みたいだから読書とか好きなわけ？あ、想像に漏れずに普段は読書して過ごしてるよ。最近読んでる本はね、なんて言ったかな。
I swear if it's the Bible. I continued asking about him, about what he likes, dislikes, and what he thinks about. I asked Sis all these questions because I wanted to know more about him. It was the first time I'd ever been that interested in somebody. I didn't want to admit that I had feelings like that. Did I fall in love just because of a stroke in the head? Am I stupid or what? When I remember the feeling of his hand on my head, my heart feels tingly. I tried doing it myself, but it didn't feel the same. I'm stupid. What am I doing stroking my own head?
おねえ、私もうダメだ。バカになっちゃった。え？何を突然気色悪い声で笑い出して。お姉にはわかるまい、この気持ち。
And when I see him again, I felt as if my suffocating life had finally grown brighter. Wow. Wow, that was a absolute, like, you are smitten immediately. That's interesting. The life I lived really was beginning to suffocate me. I couldn't go out freely, and I always had to make arrangements with Mion before going to work. I thought my life would improve after escaping from school, but in reality it wasn't that easy. It's not healthy to live like this for too long. Without any friends to hang out with, I felt like I was hibernating. I started to feel the dangers of falling into boredom. All I could think of now was Satoshi Hojo-kun's face. I'd only met him briefly. My encounter with him had a great impact on my new life. I felt like something exciting was going to happen. Really, I was hyped up like a little kid on Mountain Dew. The more I thought about it, the more I realized I've been thinking about him a lot lately. This might be a crush. No, you don't say. You don't say as you're rubbing your own head going, ha ha ha, I've become stupid. Felt a little ridiculous idolizing him in such a romantic way, though. Then out of the blue, I got a chance to see him again.
あれ？
I saw a familiar face at twilight in the park. He was sitting on the swing. He looked like he was zoning out, or maybe deep in thought. He didn't notice me, even though I was right in front of him. I reminded myself to speak and act like Mion before talking to him.
Hey!
Oh yeah, because Mion just does random English. It's a beautiful little park.
何やってんのこんなとこでさ。
ミオンか。びっくりしたな。
そんなに驚いてるようには見えないけどね。さっきからいたんだけど、ずっと気づかなかった？
そうなのかい？ごめん、気づかなかったよ。
He smiled self-derisively and shrugged. He looked depressed, like something was troubling him.
何か悩み事でも？聞いて楽になるものなら聞くし、力になれるものなら惜しまないけど。
Dude, how embarrassing is this gonna be if this is over a fight with Mion? Like, holy crap. Mion better have talked about that if that's the case.
いや、別に。
私はサトシ君には一個借りがあるからね。それとも何？おじさんじゃ力になれないと思ってるわけ？
Oh god, you got her mannerisms down.
見くびられたもんだな。
別に、ミオンの力を借りたら。
ほう、それは何？私ごとき女の手は借りたくないってこと？
Thinking him unfair, I puffed up my cheeks in a sulky gesture. Satoshi-kun noticed that and smiled.
違うんだよ、ミオン。僕に実力がなくて、ここ一番で。
Oh, it's a freaking sports thing. Oh my god. I thought it was something important, but it's just sports? Sports aren't real, dude. I'm sorry, I'm sounding like a gamer here. Like, I don't know. I thought it was actually something that was like, you know, okay, I know it's important because, you know, it's like expectations and, you know, something you enjoy, but at the same time, there's a lot of important stuff going on, and if you're sad that you missed the touchdown on the 5th inning, it's like, you know, yeah, I guess you'd be sad. I mentally rifled through all the information. I'm sorry. There's a whole subreddit that I was literally someone like put me on once, which was like Thing's called like Sports Bad or something, and it's literally just nerds complaining about sports. I deserved it that one time. I mentally rifled through all the information about Satoshi-kun that Sis gave me. He doesn't look like much of an athlete, but apparently Satoshi-kun belongs to a junior baseball team. They're called the Hinamizawa Fighters. I doubt he's very skilled, but since I didn't hear much about his contributions to the team, maybe that's why he doesn't tell many people that he's a member. Even how down he felt as a result of messing up, though, he must be fairly dedicated. I deduced all that from what Sis told me, carefully chose my words so as to sound like her.
なんだ、そんなことで落ち込んでるわけ？
そんなことでって簡単に言ってくれるな、ミオンは。
I pat his back while chuckling. Satoshi-kun probably call me insensitive. I know I should listen to him rather than trying to cheer him up. Acting like Sis was probably the wrong thing to do in this case, but I had no choice. This was just how she'd react in the situation.
それなら落ち込むんじゃなくて、なお一層練習に打ち込んで次のチャンスを目指すのが適当ってもんでしょうが。こういう時は練習しかないよ、練習。まあ、サトシ君に相手のピッチャーに小細工をしてまで勝ちたいという執念があるなら、おじさんいろいろと協力できるかもしれませんけどね。
ずるしても何の意味もないよ。はあ。
Satoshi-kun hung his head after letting his regrets out with a big sigh. Surrender, defeat, resignation were all visible in that gesture of his.
諦めがいいのか未練たらたらなのか。やっぱり男に生まれたからには一度くらいは晴れ舞台でスターになってみたいでしょう。
Satoshi grinned and said yes.
もちろんヒーローを目指すのが花だけど、それが目的で野球をやってるわけじゃないよ。純粋にボールを投げたり打ったりするのが楽しいからやってるんだよ。ミオンでもそういうのわかるよね。
おじさんはそういうのはあんまわかんないかな。私は結果が一番であるならどんな種目でも大好きだし、一番になれないのに大好きなんてものはあんまりよくわかんないね。
ミオンらしい答えだな。
After he realized that I'm trying to make him feel better, he laughed along. He didn't look depressed anymore. I guess he was just feeling down because of the game. He wasn't as depressed as I thought. Maybe I just jumped to conclusions when I saw him sitting alone in the park on the Naruto swing.
でもミオンは一番になるためにいろいろと努力をするからね。それは偉いと思うよ。
He smiled gently and stood up, then started stroking my head. All of a sudden, I totally wasn't prepared for that. Okay, the flash to white happened on the exact time that my desktop wallpaper, which you can't see, I don't play these in full screen, that desktop wallpaper changed. That was insane looking. I thought this was when he did this last time, but how can he stroke someone's head so easily? Felt as if I turned into a little kid. Memories from kindergarten came to mind. My face must have been red. I felt embarrassed, but also like I was in heaven. Satoshi-kun stroked me as though petting a cat. I was blushing with my eyes closed. I felt helpless, like a girl being treated by the dentist with her mouth open and her eyes shut. Isn't that what you do at the dentist? That's what I do. Like, I know some people are like, the dentist scares me so much. I just open my mouth, close my eyes, and have a nap. They do what they need to do. I can go through it. I've literally slept through so many dental appointments, and they just do everything. The only time I have to worry is when they say, okay, now you need to spit. It's like, okay, wake up, spit, This is the easiest thing ever in the world for me. Satoshi didn't seem to notice my feelings at all. Most men don't. Please be explicit. Please just say it. Most men will never notice. Please, for the love of God, just say it out loud. He didn't seem to care. I hate him. That's how it goes! With my eyes still closed, I waited for him to finish. He suddenly withdrew his hand.
じゃあ僕はそろそろ帰るよ。
We were doing this for so long, the time of day changed.
おばさんに野球の帰りに買い物をしてくるよう頼まれてるから。
あ、
My voice faltered. I was so embarrassed.
買い物なら私も行くとこ。夕飯の買い物。
あれ、ミオも買い物するんだ。お手伝いさんが全部やってくれるって言ってなかったっけ？
Shoot, I messed up. In the main Sonozaki house, the maids do everything. Therefore, Mion hardly goes grocery shopping, and she's bragged to some people about that. I should have known better. Still, it wouldn't be too hard to find an excuse.
町に遊びに来るつもりでいたから、買い物を私が引き受けてきたわけよ。お分かり？
ミオンにしては珍しいね。普段はそういうのめんどくさいって言って嫌がりそうなのに。
そういうのを余計なお世話って言います。頭撫でないで。
Oh wow, that is your absolute weakness. Satoshi-kun seemed to be having fun with how embarrassed I'd get when he patted me. Unpetted. Anyway, I managed to talk my way out of it. He didn't really seem to care about all the details. While walking with Satoshi-kun in the shopping district of Kamiyashiki, something occurred to me. Why had I messed up? I'd known Mio would never go grocery shopping. What an amateurish mistake. Did I make that mistake when I was pretending to be Mion? No, I was probably speaking as Shion. I couldn't keep lying to myself. I had to just admit. It was simply because I wanted to spend as much time with Satoshi-kun as possible. It was easy to see why I was so attracted to him. I'd found something intriguing in my boring life, and I didn't have to feel tense because he thought I was somebody else, etc., etc. His easygoing nature made him fun to be around, and his habit of petting people on the head was fun too. From these symptoms, I could tell I was embracing the feeling of love. I was just casually enjoying that feeling. It wasn't like I fell in love with him. I was just having fun. I could simply spend some fun time with Satoshi-kun without having to think too much. That was the craziest, hardest cut ever.
ブロッコリーってどれだっけ？
What? The green one, brother.
緑だっけ？黄色だっけ？
I guess there is yellow broccoli too. Don't, dude, show this dude broccolini and his mind will be blown. Blown.
そっちはカリフラワ
I would say cauliflower is more white, personally.
ー。サトシ君ってひょっとしてキャベツとレタスの区別がつかないタ
Okay,
イプ？
listen. I've told this story before. I remember the first time my mom was like, okay, listen, you have your driver's license. I need you to go to the store and I need you to get me some lettuce. And I absolutely got a cabbage. And like, she was like, you are so stupid. Like my mom actually got like not mad, but she was like dunking on me and she will still dunk on me for that. It is still a spot where I'm like, I'm sorry. How could I tell? And she's like, there's signs. They're right there. I'm like, that's fair. Thank God I learned how to cook now. Thanks, fate.
それはひどいよ。
Oh, come on! Throw me a line, brother!
これでも精一杯区別してるつもり。
Satoshi-kun stared at the heaps of broccoli and cauliflower. I mean, they're so different. Like, it's not just the color. They are entirely different shapes. After thinking for a while, he reached out for the wrong one.
それ違う。サトシ君の買い物は見ててハラハラしますね。見てるこっちは楽しいけどさ。
参ったな。サトコと一緒の時にも迷うんだよ。ブロッコリーとカリフラワーはどっちが何色だっけってね。
あんたら兄弟二人揃って面白すぎです。
Sisa told me that Satoshi was a flaky big brother to his nagging little sister. I hadn't met Satoko, but she must be having a tough time dealing with Satoshi-kun. He stumbles over everything he buys after all.
それは調理塩。胡椒とか混じってますから、卓上塩とは異なります。
Okay, no, real talk. Don't buy mixed salt and pepper. Because you're gonna very quickly realize there are times when you want just one or the other and that's all you have left. Or worse, you be like me. Like, I thought this was pretty good. It's a mix of salt, pepper with bits of lemon. So you can, like, throw that on some wings and oh my god, you're ready to go. But then I'm also like, damn, I kind of wish I just had salt and pepper that I could manually choose from, you know?
そうなの？ほら、確か理科の実験で塩と胡椒を分離するの確か。
How is that a real experiment? Never heard of that one.
言い訳はいいから棚に戻す。こっちが普通のお塩ね。で、次は
Personally, I like sea salt. This has a nicer flavor. These are weird cuts.
ミオンがいてくれると買い物が楽で助かるよ。
サトシ君、頭良さそうに見えて社会生活に支障ありすぎです。もう少しお勉強した方がいいと思います。
それはひどいな。あった。これかな。ひゅいひゅい。
What did he throw in?
だからそれは違う。何でもカゴに放り込む前に値段と何人分かをよく確認する。
True. Overbuying is the big problem that you'll start to have when you're cooking. My first impression of Satoshi-kun was that he was strong and reliable. But the more I spoke to him, the more surprised I was at how clumsy and unreliable he was. How do I put it? It was hard to leave him alone. He was dangerous on his own. If he wasn't careful, he might start wondering, do you cross the street when the light is red? Or was it green? And get himself run over by a dump truck. Sweat drop!
1780円になります。
Could you imagine? Like, I live in a place where I'd say money is pretty good. But could you imagine?
スタンプカードはお持ちですか？
Yo, stamp cards.
はい、あります。あれ、どこかな？
すみません。ちょっと見当たらないんで、今度でいいです。
I finished checking out, ignoring Satoshi-kun as he fished through his wallet full of receipts. Oh, you're a receipt keeper.
ひどいな、ミオン。スタンプちゃんと押さないともったいないよ。
あんた、夕暮れ時のお買い物ラッシュの時にのんびりと財布を漁ってスタンプカードなんか探さない。後ろに大勢待ってるんだから。私たちの後ろで海線山線のおばさま方が早くしなさいざますって目でギロギロ睨んでたの気づいてなかったんですか？
Oh my god, she's fully gone into Mion mode.
あのね、そういう時はレジ前に並んでる時からあらかじめ用意しておくの。
あ、そうか。いいことを聞いたよ。
ちなみにここでのことだけじゃないですから、バスに乗る時もそう。サトシ君、バスを降りようとして料金を入れる時、その時になって初めてお財布を開けて小銭をちまちまと探して後ろの人を詰まらせて待たせてるでしょう。
Oh god, that's evil.
みんな僕を追い抜いて勝手に料金を入れてるから。
Oh my god. Okay, no, this guy has a few screws loose.
はあ、それはね、すっごーく周りに迷惑をかけているのです。
Dude, I feel bad enough being a bother to people in the West. If you're being a bother to people in Japan, you might as well be dead. Oh.
そういうのはあらかじめ用意しておくのがマナー。わかりました？
わかったよ。今日のミオンは怖いな。
Satoshi-kun smiled as if patronizing me. Couldn't believe it. He was definitely the type who made women want to protect him. Sure, he was fine as he was when he had a busybody like me around him, but I couldn't stop worrying whether he was able to function in society without someone like that nearby. We got plastic bags and sorted out what we bought. Satoshi-kun put a pack of tofu at the bottom of his bag, slapped his hand and put in a milk carton instead.
これで OK。
True, you don't want to put bread or anything squishy at the
これ
bottom.
で台所で買い物袋を広げてお母さんに仰天されなくて済みますからね。
Uh-oh. Shouldn't have said that, I think.
ありがとう。
Mother.
助かったよ。僕はどうも買い物が苦手でさ。
Now, did he realize that, or is he not picking up on that?
買い物だけ正直におっしゃい。
うん。
嘘嘘冗談。
I realized a few things while spending my time with him today. He's not just bad at shopping, he's also chronically clumsy. In general, you could call him a slow thinker. Is that a euphemism? That meant when he stepped into the quarrel with the punks, he must have needed a lot of courage. He might be a simpleton. Okay, yeah, there we go. But he's not stupid. He's aware of his weaknesses. So, he must have been aware of the danger in that situation. He could have chosen to walk away even though I was in trouble. But he chose to be a man and stepped in. That was really admirable of him.
えらいえらい。サトシ君は頑張ったよ。いい子いい子。
なんだよ。急に人の頭を撫でないでくれ
Yeah,
よ。
can you imagine him like smacking her away and being like, "Stop that, that's weird. Don't do that to people in public."
サトシ君が一人でお買い物ができましたでしょう。なでなでなで。
ミオン、僕のことすっごいバカにしてるだろ。
Oh god, he's actually super offended by it.
してないよ。お家一人で帰れるかな。道わかる？
やっぱりバカにしてる。
Satoshi-kun's sulky face flushed red. He's just too cute. At that point, caught a glimpse of a billboard from the corner of my eye. Boy, there's a lot on there that I can't read. I see fake telephone numbers, you can tell because of the X's. Piano lessons, call double X. Abacus class, junior baseball team members wanted. It was a... Right, didn't she go sign up to be the secretary or something? It was a posting for the team Satoshi-kun belonged to. It showed the day, time, and place of their next practice. By then, I knew just how flaky he was. I figured he must be just the same when playing baseball. Satoshi-kun realized that I was reading the posting. He looked uncomfortable and walked away.
今サトシ君は思った。頼むからミオン、野球やってるとこまで来ないでくれよ。図星？そのムーってのはつまり何さ？図星ってことでしょ。
Satoshi-kun became quiet after mumbling something. Seemed like he couldn't say anything back since I had been right on the money. Satoshi-kun, you're just too cute. I don't think going silent is a good way to dodge the issue. Well, might be the way that... It might have just been the way innocent people like him would react in a situation like that.
じゃあね、サトシ君。暗くなりかけてるから気をつけて帰ってね。
ミオンは一緒に帰らないのかい？ひなみ沢。
私はもうちょっと寄るとこありますんで。
Just say you gotta stop with family.
気にしないで先に帰ってください。
You have a lot of them.
僕の買い物を手伝ってもらったんだから、今度は僕が手伝う。
Oh?
あ、
Uh-oh.
大丈夫。っていうか、サトシ君が何を手伝うおつもりで？人の手伝いする前に自分が手伝われなくて買い物できるようになっといてくださいな。
今日のミオンはひときわ意地悪かな。
He seemed to have some pride at least. He looked a bit upset because he was teased by a girl. But in contrast, I felt very satisfied. As a result, I forgot to keep my guard up.
でも手伝ってくれてありがとうね。本当に助かったから。
Oh wow. Oh, she melted. While wearing a bright smile, Satoshi-kun suddenly started stroking my head again. Oh, I know he's teasing me, but... Oh, I can't reject him. He keeps on doing it only because he realized I won't resist. Oh.
じゃあね、ミオン。暗くならないうちに用事を済ませてね。また明日学校で。
学校でね。
It sounded like her true voice slipped out there a bit. In fact, I wouldn't see him tomorrow at all. It felt awkward, but I had to settle for that. I had to thank Sis for letting me use her name. After I separated from him, I found myself giddy and wishing to see him again as soon as possible. I wanted to know more about him. Couldn't wait for my next chance to see him. Actually, maybe there was something I could do. Just like when I obtained my freedom from St. Lucia's, I could choose how to live my life. Whatever. It wasn't that complicated. I just wanted to tease him more. I wanted him to stroke my head more and... whatever. I already knew the schedule for his baseball team. And that's what's gonna lead into her becoming the baseball coach. Or, well, the baseball... whatever the honorary position they gave her was. I totally forget. A crumpled diary. Now, whose diary is this? Oh, broccoli icon. Wait. Well, let's see here. Let's. The way I can do it is I'm gonna hit exit. I'm gonna go view all tips. Okay, so this is Satoshi's again. Okay. I guess we would have known the moment I clicked on this. My aunt finally stopped her hysterical screaming. Today was just like any other day. I can't remember what set her off. Whatever it was, she changed subjects constantly anyway. It didn't matter. She went on past midnight again. The urge to sleep was pounding the back of my head. Once Satoko had finally been able to relax, she fell down on the spot and started sleeping, still clinging to my sleeve. I carried Satoko to the bedroom and laid out our
ほら、
futons.
さとこ。布団が敷けたよ。布団に入りな。
Satoko crawled in like a worm. She stopped moving once she was inside. I wished I could go to bed too, but I couldn't. My aunt asked me to do some chores. I had to go get toothpaste after school tomorrow. I had to write it down somewhere. I had to make rice for lunch tomorrow. I set the timer. Right. I also had to repile the towels in the bathroom. That was the reason for today's scolding. My aunt will get mad if everything isn't done the way she wants. Oh, and there was something else. I was working at the grocery store the next day. They wanted me to bring an apron. Did we even have an apron in this house? I'd never seen one. My aunt will be sleeping when I go to school, so I won't have time to ask her. What should I do? Since Mion helped me get that job, I don't want to screw it up. Oh. In that case, why don't I ask Mion about it at school? She might lend me one. Was there anything else? I was envious of Satoko because she got to go to bed. It was pathetic that I felt that way. God, I am... The disparity between how the main story feels and the tips is going to kill me. I want to read the first one again. The Notebook's beginning. Satoshi, so this is about Satoshi. Okay. And I'm assuming then this is Shion's looking into, right? All are within my grasp. Maybe I'll get them behind my back. I can't reach everywhere. I'm writing this because I need to organize my thoughts. Nobody will read it besides myself. Okay. Okay, so yeah, I'm assuming then this... So basically, the Notebook's beginning here is... basically, the way to think about this is the master file, and these are sub-files that are probably in her investigation of this. Wait. Oh my god, it's the song. Has this always played here? Have I just never been on this menu long enough? I think I've just never been on this menu long enough. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me that the song has always been right here? That's crazy. Anyways, guys, thank you all for watching Chapter 3. We'll be back next time with Chapter 4. Good things come in number 4s, always, every time, right? So, sure things will be fine as we continue on next time. We'll see you then for some more Higurashi Chapter 5, Meakashi. We'll see you then. Ciao.